So I don't normally do enough. I should do more relationship videos, right? Getting a girl is important, but knowing how to keep her is just as important. And more important if that's, your goal. You're more of a guy oriented towards having a long-term relationship. And mostly every guy is going to get a girlfriend and turn her into a wife and have children with her at some point, okay? So I should start doing more of those videos. And I wanted to do one over a simple concept that is kind of niche. It's a very particular circumstance, but it's something that's really, really important because if you do it wrong, it creates a really bad... It's just bad for a relationship. And that is having sex with your girlfriend or your wife after drama. Okay, after a fight. Almost in any case, you should never do it. There's only one exception, and that exception is if whatever drama or shit that you were dealing with was about her insecurities. Like she doesn't feel loved, she doesn't feel, she doesn't feel attractive, okay? But that's normally not going to start drama or a fight unless, you accidentally insult her or do something dumb, right? But the reason why I want to bring this up is because I have a friend. It's not even a client. And let's just say, I don't want to go into all the details. I mean, you don't know who he is, but his girlfriend is a basket case. She brings up a lot of fucking drama. She has anxiety, but she also lets it kind of control her behavior, and it turns almost abusive. And... I've recommended that he not be with her anymore, but, he's starting to get it, but he's not quite at that level to break up with her. He has to make the decision. But she likes to start drama, and a lot of the drama circles around being jealous and thinking he's always going to go out and hook up with another girl. And there's a lot of reasons why she has this jealousy. Not him being suspicious. It's more to do with her past and her anxiety. But she's always thinking that he's going to fuck some other girl. And what will happen is she'll start a bunch of drama, and then he'll, finally placate and calm her down. And then she will feel relieved, because when you're anxious and you're suspicious and paranoid, once you kind of have been calmed down, you feel a lot better, right? You're like, oh my God, thank God. And then she'll want to have sex after. Like, she'll actually propose it. Like, hey, we should have sex. I think it'll make us feel better. Because sex can be very relieving. And people in general, who are anxious will be more prone to have a lot of sex because it'll release those nice chemicals, and it's a bonding experience, and it just relieves stress. Like one of the most promiscuous girlfriends I had in my past, she had major anxiety, and so sex was a way for her to deal with that. And same with me. I'm naturally very anxious, so that's part of why I'm really horny. But I also just have a huge sex drive. I don't know where the fuck it comes from. And so she'll want to have sex after a fight, and it's very, very, very toxic. The reason is when you fuck after anything, it reinforces whatever came before it. Like, and also the opposite, right? It's kind of like when you go to like hook up with a girl after a first date and you fail, and you really went for it, and you pushed and pushed and pushed, and you didn't get it. A lot of times you lose that girl. Like, it's very, very common to lose her. And for her to not, want to see you again. Whereas if you didn't push too much, you might actually have a better chance at date 2. But you might, getting date on or sex on the first date is really, really good. But a lot of the reason is one, she paints you as a fuckboy, but 2, because there was all that buildup and then there wasn't a conclusion to it. It's like watching a movie that's really great and then the ending is just shit, and it just ruins, kind of like the Game of Thrones fallacy, let's call it. Like, it's a great show, and then towards the end it just shits the bed, and it's like, what the fuck, I just wasted years for this. Same thing, but the opposite. So when you have a bunch of stuff happen and then sex happens, whatever happened before it, it's going to make her more attached to it. And if it was negative, then it's even like I said with the Game of Thrones thing, if it's really positive and then it's negative, it's amplified because it was so the contrast is so strong. Like, it was really great, really great, really great, and then just fucking horrible, and it just sours everything about the past. And you're like, oh, fuck that entire show. Like, you'll say, oh yeah, the first few seasons were good, but it really ruined it, and you just have this ugh towards it. Or if something is really, really bad and then really good, then you almost kind of, it has this halo effect on it. Like, let's say you were to go out to a bar and, someone stole your wallet and, you got in a fight. I don't fucking know. A bunch of shit happened. But then at the end of the night, you meet some gorgeous girl and she invites you to her house. She sucks your dick. You fuck the shit out of her. And then she gets you home and, gets you an Uber home or drives you home. And then you start dating her. And then, you just get your credit cards back and you get your ID back. It's not that big of a deal. Well, what are you going to remember? Are you going to be like, yeah, that fucking night I lost my ID? No. You're going to be like, that night where I met my girlfriend or my wife, or like that super smoking hot girl who, drained my cock. Like, you're going to look at it as an amazing night because it's contrasted against that bad shit. And so you're gonna put a halo around it. So the same thing happens when you have sex after drama, is it reinforces that bad behavior. A bunch of bad shit happens, a bunch of negative emotions, and then you have this really hot sex. Especially because a lot of times after drama, you forgive that person, you realize why you love them so much, you kiss, make up, blah. Then you have sex. It's gonna be really, really hot. So you're gonna want to do it more because it was great. And because it was around negative circumstances, you're going to want to recreate those negative circumstances. Maybe not consciously, but you're going to find yourself falling into that pattern. You're going to find yourself being addicted to that cycle. So you're going to cause more drama in the pursuit of that great pleasure. And then that's going to reinforce all of those behaviors in that search for that negativity in order to get that higher hit of pleasure, of dopamine or serotonin, whatever, right? So what my friend found, he was like, we'll have this drama. She'll get really jealous and we'll resolve it. And she'll want to have sex. And then I've actually had to start telling her no because he realized it. I mean, it didn't take a fucking genius to figure it out. He's like, yeah, I figured that it's kind of like reinforcing bad behaviors, and it started to become a pattern. So I start denying her sex. So if you ever find yourself in a relationship and there's drama and then you have the desire to have makeup sex, do not do it. Do not do it. No matter how horny you are, how much you feel like, oh my God, we fixed that problem. I feel like I love this person, lovey-dovey, and you feel this warmth. Don't give in. And if she wants to have sex, let her know. Be like, look, just tell her straight up. It's not like you're treating her like you're training a dog. You're not saying, whoa, I don't want to give in to operant conditioning and badly train you. What you just say is, hey, you know what? We just had that drama. I don't want to conclude it with sex. I feel like that sets a bad, it's weird. Like, we just need to let that bad event kind of relax. We can cuddle and watch a movie or, relax. That's fine. But I think sex, we have all these emotions right now, and we're really going to have really great sex. And I feel that that's not a good thing right now. We can have sex in the morning once this event kind of passes, So you can either do it via your own reasoning, or you can even say, hey, you know what? I heard that it's really bad to have sex after drama. You can just say you heard it somewhere. Or you saw a video or something. Don't show her my channel, obviously. Where did you watch it? Just be like, you know what? I heard from a friend, right? Because technically it's true. So I heard from a friend that, sex after dramas are not a good idea, and because of X and Y. But you could just explain it's your own reasoning, because if you understand it, it's your own reasoning. And then she should accept that, right? And then you have sex in the morning. But don't reinforce bad behavior. This principle is actually true for so much of how to do relationship game, how to maintain a healthy relationship. Don't reinforce bad behaviors. Because if you reinforce bad behaviors, over a long period of time, they become set in stone, and it's very hard to break them. So what are some things that, let's say as the relationship goes on for a long time, you kind of get tired of drama. This is something that happens when a lot of guys get into relationships. They get tired of the drama. Well, what happens is, this is like a meme that you see with like older married men who make jokes about, don't get in a fight with your wife. It's impossible to win an argument with a woman. Oh, I'm going to sleep, he's going to sleep in the doghouse tonight. This fucking really cringe, subservient attitude that men have towards their wives. Usually these are men who have been married a long time. Well, what happens is men get tired of fighting, so they just start default letting the woman win. And this is very, very bad, because she just gets used to winning everything. Then she gets this attitude where like she's always right, even if it's something stupid where she was wrong, And you stop like letting her know there's a line, like you can't treat me like that, right? Little things here and there, okay, you're not a fucking tyrant who anytime she says anything a little bit weird, you're like, don't you dare disrespect me, I'm the king. You don't go to that extreme, right? But you don't let your girl or anyone in your life get away with, a lot of little things over a period of time. She's ordering you around, bossing you around, criticizing you. It could be a lot of things, right? And some small shit you can let go, right? Because it's like, I don't give a shit, right? But there's a distinction you can find in your heart where I feel like I should say something, but I don't want to. That's when you should say something. Whereas the other time, you're like, I really don't care. If you don't really care, then whatever it is probably won't actually have an effect on her, because it just doesn't even move you. It's not even worth a fight worth having. But if you ever find yourself in a situation where over a longer-term relationship, you don't want to keep making drama, so you just let it go, but you feel like you want to talk about it, that's when things start to build up, because she can see that it affects you, but you're not willing to fight over it, and you should. Because when you stop trying to fight, it shows you don't care about the relationship anymore, because you would have taken care of it in the first couple of years when you were dating her. And she sees that lack of passion, and that'll make her actually resent you. It's not even so much like, oh, he's weak, and I have a beta bitch husband. It actually starts from, he doesn't care about this relationship anymore. Then she starts to resent you. And then after resenting you, she'll repaint it and go, yeah, he's a beta bitch. Like, I don't respect him. But really, at the start of it, it was a hurt ego, because you don't care anymore. You don't give a shit about the marriage. You don't care. But there's no passion. There's no effort. That's what men really hate. I mean, there's a certain subset of women who are very power-minded, and they care about the power. So just from the start, they're going to think you're weak and walk all over you. But most of the time, women just feel like he doesn't care anymore. And so by not fighting those battles, because you're like, oh, whatever, you let her just get all those wins, and just let her, she knows she can get away with shit. So she'll get more bold. I mean, anyone, if you let them have a couple inches, they're going to take a fucking mile. Okay? And so you are badly conditioning her behavior by rewarding that behavior, and you reward it by not fighting back. Hey, please don't say that to me. The way you said that was kind of disrespectful. Hey, you know what? Ask her to do things. Be like, hey, babe, you've kind of been slacking around the house. You're not helping as much as you used to. Like, hey, please pick up on that shit. Like, letting her get away with these things. Because your partner should be your best friend, but they're also your partner. They're your lover, your friend, but also your partner. So there's certain tasks that both of you have to do. And if you don't keep them honest, like having that friend who always calls you out on your shit, that's a very good friend to have, because he keeps you on your toes. Not keep you on your toes, keeps your head on straight, right? So a lot of good relationship game is about keeping that person, holding them accountable. So this small thing of like not having sex after drama, you can take the principle of don't reward bad behavior, but you also need to reward good behavior. That's important too. That's the positive side. It's called operant conditioning, but that's not, like I said, kind of sounds like you're training a dog, but that's not the point. right? So yeah, take this principle and apply it to a lot of different things in your relationship. But this specific video obviously is about not having sex after drama, and that's why. So I don't have any courses about relationship game that I'll probably make one in a couple years. While I understand pretty much everything, but I want to formulate how I teach it. So I'll do that in a couple years. But you can do coaching if you want. I can do relationship coaching for you. I have a lot of years of experience of being in monogamous relationships. I'm probably just as skilled at it as I am picking up girls, but it's not something that I've talked much about and made a lot of content about. So, I'm not I even had a former client of mine. He's like, "Do you do relationship coaching?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." He's like, "Oh, okay." And I guess he just didn't know, because most of the time I'm teaching you guys how to pick up girls. But I do have courses on how to get the girlfriend, right? So you got to meet her. So do day game in the description below. Get my course, Meet Girls Everywhere. Definitely get it. It's going to help you meet these girls who eventually turn into your girlfriend. It's a better place to meet them, just out in the wild, right? Not bars, not clubs, not online dating. You got to learn how to text girls, okay? Texting is just as important up until the point that you're living with a woman. Then texting is very rarely needed. Hey, babe, do you want something from the market? But up until that point, you're going to have to text her while you're communicating with her, because you're not living together. So you need to know how to do that. So get my book. It's on Amazon, What She Really Means, the basics and not so basics of texting girls. And then if you really need help with a relationship, obviously sign up for coaching. Or if you want to learn how to pick up girls, I can teach you how to do everything: night game, day game, online game, texting, relationship, etc. So sign up for coaching. Just shoot me a DM on Instagram. Follow me. It's in the description below. And we'll talk. Cool. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys.